I am Willie Baronet, and I am the founder, creator of We Are All Homeless. So in 1993, I bought the first homeless sign. I didn't like that I was avoiding eye contact with so many people that I saw on the corner. And then it occurred to me, I wonder if they would sell me their signs. Early on, I did, I say now, I ruined some signs early on by painting on them and drawing on them, thinking I needed to somehow make a mark on these signs as the, and I'm using air quotes, artist. And it didn't take long before I realized that the signs had all of the power that was needed, and that my role felt like my role was simply to get out of the way. There's a quote from The Wiz by Glinda, the Good Witch, where she says, "When we know ourselves, we're always home." And to the extent that I feel like I am learning about myself more and more as time passes, that I feel more and more at home wherever I happen to be.
I could talk forever about how much I love Willie.
Willie is not the type of guy that will just respond back with open arms. He almost runs at you with open arms and a big smile and says, "We're all in. What do we need to do? If we're on the same team, we're all in this together." The first thing you're going to see and the first thing you're going to notice when you meet him is his smile. But then also how much he lights up the room whenever he's in it. And so it just seems like everything that you're questioning about yourself is instantly removed.
It's been a joy to work here on the Meadows faculty as dean, to get to work with amazing people. And one of the most amazing of those people is, of course, Willie Baronet.
So as a first-generation student from an underrepresented background at a predominantly white institution, it was really difficult at first to get used to the culture at SMU and to feel like I had a community here, but he made us feel welcomed.
Going into the program, everyone was like, Willie is going to change your life. He's known to change people's lives.
So I want to ask you, is maybe he just more willing to be transparent about that? And maybe that's all we care about deep down, but he's honest about it.
It all comes back to an underlying belief that art, in all forms, changes the world for the better. It may be seen in a studio, but its reach is out into the world.
If I imagine if there's 150 signs, there's 150 different people, each with a story, each trying to figure out, what am I going to put on my sign? What am I going to share with the world to get some help? I see this sign, the fact that bus is misspelled, the fact that this N is backwards, just breaks my heart. This was bought from a person who was missing an arm. Sometimes, the simplest, most straightforward, honest thing really get to me. I love what that says. I'm not a bad person. I just need a little help. And my mom's maiden name was Guidry. Some of what I got from my mom was, she was such a caretaker, and I think there's a piece of me that really and truly wants to save everybody. Her death, in a lot of ways, was a seminal event in my life that really confirmed for me that I'm not going to be able to save anybody, really.
I have never really been able to define what home means to me. I did not have a traditional home growing up. I lived in lots of different houses with lots of different families and had to learn a new set of house rules everywhere I went. And home was never really a safe place for me either. Home to me has a lot to do with safety and a lot to do with feeling like I'm free to be myself. And home is a place where I never have to question whether or not I am wanted.
It's ultimately a place where I belong because I'm loved and because I'm known.
Home to me is not a physical place. It's more of a feeling.
It almost always, one of the first responses for me has to do with my mom. Home for me is the sound of her voice, the smell of her cooking, the energy she brought into our family. I do believe that some of the wounding of my childhood, being raised by an abusive father, there's a piece of that that caused me to be hyper vigilant about my surroundings and how other people were feeling. And I think to some extent, I have a heightened awareness of others' feelings and to some degree their comfort level.
I think that is one of the gifts that Willie has, is that he can make anyone feel welcome for any amount of time with such little effort.
And the fact that Willie could find art through homeless signs, I personally think is one of the most incredible things a person has ever been able to see.
Yeah. Sorry. Every one of the people on the wall that's around us, every one of them were born with a purpose, and every one of them has the right to be loved. We need to put down the walls of judgment and see others through the lens of mercy and grace. And this project is amazing because all we're doing is giving them the opportunity, people who have never had a voice, we've given them the opportunity to bring it to a world and a space for those possibly who are listening.
I don't know that I'm able to ever express how much gratitude I have for so many people who have helped me in my life, both with this project and even outside of this project. I am overwhelmed with gratitude a lot of the time.
This is heart, this is love, this is raw.
And it's important to recognize that someone's life experience isn't the same as yours, but that doesn't make them any less human.
You could see a sign and be completely wrong on who was holding that sign. And I think it's similar to how we judge people every day, whether they're homeless or whether they're just walking next to us.
When she flipped it over and showed me this side, yeah, it really stuck with me. I can picture her right now. People don't have the person behind the sign, and people, because we're human beings, we naturally start to imagine who is holding that sign, and was it an older person, a younger person, a man or a woman? What was their story? And I think that in some respects that's the power of these signs, is that it allows people to lean in instead of turn away because there's the awkwardness of that human being. I buy signs from a lot of people who have so little or seem to have so little, and it reminds me how grateful I am.
And this project, We Are All Homeless, it's like, no, we're not all homeless, but we are all searching for something. We are all searching for that sense of belonging, that sense of security, that safety, that I love you and I'm proud of you at the end of the day.
I hope that We Are All Homeless, it continues to not only spread awareness and help those who are experiencing homelessness, but also continue to touch the lives of people like me, like you, have that experience of reading a sign and seeing the story behind it, relating yourself to the person who wrote the sign, and humanizing them in their situation and changing the way that they view homelessness.